and somehow the IEM came off the cable, hit the tile floor, and broke. And that particular IEM became unusable. I was actually really surprised how it broke so easily. If you're gonna buy the variations thinking that you're gonna hook it up to your smartphone using the Apple dongle, for example, these are not gonna sound good. I definitely do not recommend that you do that. Hey everybody, this is the Moondrop Variations IEM, and the Moondrop Variations is a mid-level priced IEM that is very interesting in that it uses 3 different types of drivers. I would like to thank Apple's Audio for sending this IEM out for my review. Now let's unbox it and I'll tell you more about it. You do get a quality check card, and right down here is the Moondrop Variations IEM, and I'll come back to it. Let me see what else is in the box. And it does come with this very nice carrying case, which has some nice stitching on it. And if we open it up, we see the audio cable inside. You get this very nice audio cable that terminates in 0.8 dual pin connections on the IEM side. So on the other side of the cable, you do get something special. You have a detachable plug system, which you can attach different plugs. The plug you see here is a right angle 4.4mm balance connector. And you can use this balance connector to hook up the Moondrop Variations to a balanced portable DAC amp, such as this one, the i5 Gold Bar Kenze, which does have a 4.4 balance connection port that allows you to use the IEMs in balance mode. But if your DAC amp doesn't have a 4.4mm balance connector, you can just go ahead and remove the plug. And we can see here that the plugs use a 4-pin connector system. So again, you can just remove the 4.4mm balance connector. And if your DAC amp only has a standard 3.5mm unbalanced connection, then you can just put this plug on. And there you go, the audio cable now has a 3.5mm unbalanced connector. So the Moondrop Variation is very flexible in terms of using it with different DAC amps. Now it does take a little bit of force to remove the plug and to insert it, but overall it's not too bad. And the third detachable plug that's included is the 2.5mm balance connector. So if you have an older DAC amp, for example, that uses that 2.5mm balance connector, you can go ahead and use that as well. So it's really nice that you can use the Moondrop Variations either balanced or unbalanced. All right, so we do have some other stuff in here. You do get a nice set of ear tips, so let's take a look. It looks like they include small, medium, and large silicone tips, as well as small, medium, and large foam tips. And this little case holder is pretty nice, as it has these little tabs that keep the tips in place, making it super easy to take all these ear tips with you on the go. Now let's see what else is inside. Looks like we have some additional stuff in here. Just a Moondrop card, a little Moondrop Variations postcard. I'm not sure why they include these with their IEMs. And you also get this fold out user manual. Also included in the package are these small tweezers and these small mesh rings. And finally, we have the Moondrop Variations IEMs here. And as I mentioned before, they use 3 different types of drivers. It actually uses 1 dynamic driver for the bass, 2 electrostatic drivers that act as a tweeter for the high-end frequencies, and finally it uses 2 balance armatures for the rest of the frequencies in between in the mid-range. And the variations can be seen as the next step up from the Blessing 2 or Blessing 3 from Moondrop. As far as the tuning goes, it uses the same virtual diffuse sound field frequency tuning curve used in the Blessing 2. So if you like the sound of the Blessing 2 or 3, the variations should align very well with that sound signature. These IEMs have an impedance of 15 ohms and a sensitivity of 118 dB. Now taking a look at the top of the IEM, it has a matte stainless steel panel, which I really like. I think it looks really nice. And as for the rest of the IEM, it's made out of a medical grade resin that was 3D printed. And the difference between the Variations and the Blessing 3, for example, is that the Blessing 3 has a clear resin, so you can kind of see the inside, whereas the Variations have more of a smoky, dark colored resin, which I think actually looks better in my opinion. So overall, I think the Variations looks very nice. I actually like it better than the Blessing 3. And here we see the 2-port connector for the 2-pin audio cable that's going to plug into each IEM. And here on the right, you can see the diameter of the IEM. And as far as the length, it's fairly short. So really nice. I'm highly impressed with the Moondrop Variations. So if you want to step up your IEM game and get something a little bit better than budget IEMs, such as the Moondrop Aria or the Moondrop Blessing 3, then the Moondrop Variations is definitely worth a look at, because you do get those 3 different type of of drivers. This is gonna really make your music pop with all the different sounds you're gonna hear. Everything from the dynamic driver that's gonna produce that nice deep bass to the 2 electrostatic drivers that are gonna cover those high frequencies and give you that nice sounding treble. And finally, you have those 2 balanced armatures that are gonna handle that mid-range. And so these do cost a little bit more, but remember, you also get the audio cable that has the detachable plug that you can use with a balanced DAC amp. So that is a definite plus as well. You can use it with a 4.4 or a 2.5 millimeter balanced DAC amp connection, or you can just use the standard 3.5 millimeter unbalanced connector and plug it up to pretty much everything, such as your phone or laptop. And one final tip with these IEMs, since you are paying a little bit more for these, you'll definitely want to pair these up with a portable DAC amp. I wouldn't connect it straight to your smartphone or laptop. Definitely get something like the iFi Gold Bar Kenze that does have that 4.4 millimeter balanced connector. Or if you're on a budget, I suggest getting something like this Qtlex 5K, which does have your standard 2.5 millimeter unbalanced connection, but also has a 2.5 millimeter balanced connector included as well at a low price. So both of these portable DAC amps are great options for the Moondrop Variations. All right, so now that I've actually spent quite a bit of time with the Moondrop Variations IEMs, I do want to talk about the build quality and comfort before I get into the sound quality. So I do want to tell you about something that happened with the Moondrop Variations, kind of as a public service announcement. And basically what happened was I was wearing them on my ears, and I removed one of the IEMs from my ears as I was walking across my kitchen floor that's made up of floor tiles, and somehow the IEM came off the cable, hit the tile floor, and broke. And that particular IEM became unusable. I was actually really surprised how it broke so easily. And after some thorough testing, I found out the reason why the IEM came off so easily off of the audio cable is because you have to be really careful when inserting this 2-pin connector into the IEM. For some reason on the Moondrop Variations, the connection is very loose unless you insert it all the way in. Basically, as you guys can see here on video, it looks like it's inserted, but if I just pull on it a little bit, you see how easily it comes off. You really have to make an effort to push it all the way in. And again, look how loose it is. As I insert it, I can easily just take it off and put it in. It's not until you really press it in and you get it inside, just like you guys can see right here, that it is fully inserted and won't come off. So now if I tug on it, it's not gonna come out. And it actually does take quite a bit of effort to bring it out now. There you go. So yeah, I just want to show you guys that in case you do buy these. I don't want you guys to like drop them and then your nice investment for your IEMs goes out the drain because they break on you. And yeah, because the connector is right on the edge, if it breaks, you're not going to be able to use it. It's just not going to work right, which is what happened to me. And so I always thought that the IEM enclosure on the Moondrop IEMs was a thick resin. But as you can see in this picture or video that I'm about to show you here, it's actually quite thin. So you can crack it easily if it hits a hard surface the right way. So you really got to be careful with these IEM. And again, most of the reason it happened was because that 2-pin connector wasn't inserted all the way. So I think once it's inserted, you don't have to worry about as much. Just make sure it's properly inserted, especially if you're going to be removing the cable on and off. So yeah, I just want to share that with you guys so you guys are aware of that it is a thinner resin and it is subject to cracks if you do drop it and it hits a hard surface the right way. And so yeah, because of that, I do have to take some points away in terms of build quality of the IEMs compared with other IEMs that are in the same price range and, you know, might be made out of metal or just might be constructed a little bit better. Given that typically these are priced at $500+, it should have better resistance to falls in my opinion. Thankfully, Apple's Audio sent me another pair so that I could finish my review because again, that side was broken. I wasn't able to listen to them. I could only hear one side. Anyway, other than that, I was actually pretty happy with them in terms of comfort. They fit really well in my ear. However, back here, this little like wing that sticks out in the back. And for some reason that really irritated my right ear, not so much my left ear. My left ear was fine, but my right ear towards the back here where it touched my ear, after about an hour of listening to them, that part of my ear started to hurt and became sensitive. So this is just something to look out for. It may or may not happen to you depending on the shape of your ears. And again, it might happen on one ear or the other. But other than that, they were really comfortable. I mean, some of the most comfortable IEMs I have worn. And now let's talk about sound quality for the Variations. And one thing I want to mention right off the bat is that if you're going to buy the Variations thinking that you're going to hook it up to your smartphone using the Apple dongle, for example, these are not going to sound good. I definitely do not recommend that you do that. Given the price point of these, using the Apple dongle is your DAC is not gonna do these IEMs justice. You're gonna leave a lot on the table in terms of sound. So instead, I do highly recommend that you get a portable DAC amp. Here are some examples. The Q-X 5K, the FIO BTR7. These are on the budget side. And now if you want to move up to higher sound quality, we have the Questal M15i and the i-Fi Gold Bar Kenze. But I'll talk about all these dongles at the end of the video, so make sure you stick to the end. And I'll tell you which one was my favorite to use with the Moondrop variation. So the sound quality that I'm going to talk about now is with using a proper DAC, such as the ones you see here. So first of all, the bass produced by the dynamic driver is very good and extends well into the sub bass. The mid bass is nice and packs a punch without being overly rumbly. Drums sound excellent on the Moondrop variations. Now for the mid range, the balanced armature driver on the variations provides for a mid-range that makes the music sound rich and warm. Vocals sound clear and present and stand out from the background music. Guitars have a level of richness that adds to the music, and bass guitars are very present and help you keep in rhythm with the music. And finally, the electrostatic driver delivers on the highs, presenting fine details in the music without it ever sounding sibilant. You can literally listen to every pluck of a guitar string in the music if you listen carefully. Now, as far as soundstage, this is where the variations do not do as well, as I found that the soundstage was quite small. No matter what DAC amp I use as a source, it was a smaller soundstage where musical instruments sound like they're coming from very close to either the left or right of your ear, and the vertical soundstage is also very flat with not much sense of height. As for imaging, given the smaller soundstage on these, it's quite hard to pick out where the sound of different instruments are coming from within the soundstage. I found that vocals sound like they are very well centered right in front of you and have a little bit of a vertical height. Musical instruments sound like they are either to the left or right of you, with the distance between them not being very far apart. As for gaming, I think these are all right. They did a good job of picking out footsteps in Warzone, but they were just too many distractions from other sound coming from the different frequencies, such as the treble and the boomy bass, that made it hard to concentrate and focus on the game. I would probably pick something else for gaming, especially given the price point where these Moondrop variations fall at. And so if you are looking specifically for IEMs to use for gaming, I think the Antlion Kimura Duo that come with the built-in mic work great for gaming. I've used them quite a bit, and they're some of the best for gaming as well as music listening. Definitely give these a look if you are looking for IEMs for gaming. They're priced competitively, and again, they have that included mic that makes it easy for you to chat with your friends for multiplayer games. All right, so here come my DAC recommendations for using it with the Moondrop variations. First of all, get rid of the Apple dongle. It's not gonna sound good. So if you're looking for a portable DAC dongle that's gonna work great with these, I would say on the budget side, you have some options. You can either go with the Q-X 5K or the FIO BTR7. So the first option on the budget side is the Q-X 5K. You can get it under 100 bucks at drop.com. And you can also use my affiliate code to get an extra $10 off your first purchase at Drop for an even greater discount. It also has a built-in EQ that will let you customize the sound of the variations, and even comes with a preset from Critical, a known audiophile that gives the variations a flatter frequency response that is popular among the audiophile community. This dongle DAC, in my opinion, will make your music sound 10 times better than using the Apple dongle. As for the alternative on the budget side, you have the FIO BTR7. It has a nice onboard screen, and it does come with a 4.4 balanced connector, whereas the Q-X 5K only comes with a 2.5mm balanced connector. It does cost a bit more than the Q-X 5K, so I only recommend it over the Q-X if you really want a screen and a longer lasting battery. And as you can see, the Q-X 5K is much smaller than the BTR7, so that's something else to consider. But the BTR7 has some nice features such as wireless Qi charging, the larger battery, of course. But yeah, if you don't need an onboard screen to control the settings on the DAC itself or the larger battery, then definitely go with the Q-X 5K because I think it sounds great and it's priced just right. And so now I'm going to talk about my recommendation for the best portable DAC amp to use with the Moondrop variations, and this is the Questal M15i. It's no secret why this portable DAC amp is so popular. It's straightforward to use. It just sounds great no matter what you connect to it. While it retails for about $250, it's always either on sale or has an available coupon on Amazon. It takes down the price to about $200. So if you do use my affiliate link below, make sure you clip that coupon if it's available to get that price down near to $200. But yeah, this DAC amp sounded great. The music sounded very lively, full of energy, had lots of impact in the musical notes. But yeah, my recommended pick is this one, given the price it's at and the performance you get out of it. Now, if you want to do even better and get the the best portable DAC amp that you can get that gives you the most audiophile-like flatter frequency response. That is going to sound a little bit brighter than the Quest Style M15i, and that in turn is going to let you hear those little details in the music. Then definitely go with the iFi Gold Bar Kenze. This is the one to get if you're looking to get the most resolution and details out of your music. And this option is also perfect for those that have full-size headphones that require more power to drive them. You could definitely use the Kenze because it has a turbo mode that gives you extra power and gives you plenty of headroom for the volume. The iFi Gold Bar Kenze is a great option, and I would say this is one of the most popular DACs that I saw at the CanJam audio show. A lot of people are rocking the iFi Gold Bar Kenze because it's powerful enough to handle most IEMs and headphones. It is a pricier option. Go ahead and check the link in the description for the latest price. All right, so that does it for my review of the Moondrop Variations. And again, I will have affiliate links down in the description to everything you see here in case you're interested in any one of these things. Until the next video, see you then.